Hello, everyone. So today we are here to learn something about design thinking. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Amok Joshi, and I'm a SAFE program consultant and a SAFE trainer, SAFE coach. And recently, I have implemented a couple of SAFE transformations in organizations from small to big. And one of the very crucial factors when we start implementing SAFE is customer centricity and design thinking. So customer centricity and design thinking goes hand in hand, and that's where this webinar is for, to understand about customer centricity and design thinking. So let me share my screen with you. If you are well versed with this big picture, this is Scaled Agile Framework, and this is the big picture from Scaled Agile Framework. In SAFE, we have multiple levels and multiple configurations. And when we want to implement the basic SAFE, we see customer centricity and design thinking somewhere here. So let's understand what is customer centricity. Customer centricity, if we click on here and we know that it is a ultimate beneficiary of the value. Who is ultimate beneficiary of the value? Customer is the ultimate beneficiary of the value that we are creating. And having a customer in mind when we are creating the value for him or for them, it is very, very important that we had them in mind. So there are a few things that we should be very careful about. It is having a focus on the customer, understand the customer's need, thinking and feeling like customers, building the whole product solution, like everything that customer needs. It's not that we are just satisfying a part of the problem and then for other part they have to go somewhere else. And we also need to know the lifetime value of the customer. Customer centricity is so important that when I was working with one of the large organization, and one of the main design thinking expert, and he told me this story that even Amazon, the owner or the CEO of Amazon, whenever he used to have a meeting, he used to keep one chair left in the meeting, like blank chair, like no one sitting on it. And he used to say to his colleagues that imagine your customer is sitting on this. So whatever we are discussing today, whatever we are deciding today, what is the impact our decisions are going to make on this customer, we have to always keep in mind. And that is the passion about customer centricity. Now, to understand customer centricity, to understand customers, uh, we need to do a lot of research. It is not that customers will come to us and they will tell us what exactly they need. They may tell us what exactly they want, but might be they will not be able to share exactly what they need. So there is a difference between need and want. Okay. So first we have to research the market. Okay. The first part is researching the market, where we focus on who and the what. Basically, whose problem we are trying to solve. What are the problems that exist? And then we try to do user research, that how can we solve this problem for those kind of users. Yeah. So there are two domains. One is your problem domain and the other is solution domain. And when we are talking about customer centricity, we have to take care of both the domain. Now, we said customer centricity is a mindset, but to produce features for those customers, we have to use design thinking, and we have to design with empathy. Yeah. So customer centric enterprise always apply empathetic design through the design process. And the empathetic design refer to our ability to put aside our preconceived ideas and develop a solution from the perspective of our customers. So just not a guesswork, but actually doing research, actually talking, actually doing the experimentation around the customers. Okay, that's where the design with empathy comes in. Okay. And there are certain factors when we are trying to have empathy with design. First, we do quite a bit of research, that what is the problem that we are trying to solve and for whom we are trying to solve the problem. And then we try to formulate a persona. We try to create personas where if you go to design thinking, it is one of the design thinking technique that we create personas for people who are going to use our product in a similar way. So customer centricity is achieved with help of design thinking. And design thinking, if you see the definition, is a customer-centric development process that create desired products that are profitable and sustainable over their lifestyle. And why they are profitable and sustainable? Because the customer actually want it. So there are two diamonds. So this is a double diamond approach of design thinking, where the first diamond, it is to understand the problem, and that's why it is called problem space. So to understand the problem, we have to do market research. And with help of market research, we get product strategy. That's what we get from the first quadrant. When we are trying to understand the problem, we try to understand what are the various problems. So in this case, we are diverging first. So the first problem statement is the first quadrant that we see is your divergent, where we diversify first that what are the various problems that the customers are facing. And to diverge, we have to do market research. And then, as we said, the outcome is product design when we converge it. So not all the problems we can solve. We can solve few. So we decide by converging, by defining that, okay, this is the problem that we want to solve here. So this is the first diamond, and the output of the first diamond is the product strategy, that these are the problems we want to solve. The second diamond is the solution space, design the right solution. Okay? In this space, again, we diverge and to develop that what are the solutions for this problem, what are the various options to have solutions for this problem, and then we converge again that this is the right solution after doing some user research. So in the second diamond, which is about the finding the right solution, we are doing user research, and user research will lead us to a product design. And now we are producing a design which is desirable to the customers. It means they want it. Desirability is there, that they want this product. The product is feasible technically. We have all the skills to produce this product technically, and we have all the skills, that is, the product is feasible or the solution is feasible. It is viable financially. It is viable that we will be able to make profit by developing and selling this product, and on a long run it will be sustainable. So these are the four parameters we need to check whenever we are producing a output of this solution space, and that's where the design thinking help us. Now, what are the various design thinking techniques? One of the design thinking technique that we will cover today is about personas. So personas are frictional characters that uses our product in a similar way. So personas are very short-lived design thinking artifacts, or they are long-lived artifacts. Yeah. So when we decide between empathy canvas and personas, I think empathy canvas is a very short-lived. When we do a research about creating a persona, and once a persona is created, it remains for quite a long time. So to establish a persona, these are some of the questions we ask, that who are we trying to empathize with? So this is empathy canvas that we try to create with some of UX, and product management leads this as well with help of UX. So first we say, who are we empathizing with? And then we try to answer other questions like the person or the people whom we are trying to empathize with, what do they need to do? What do they need to do differently from other people? What job do they want to need to get done? And how will we know we are successful in helping them? Other question we ask is, what do they see? What do they see in the marketplace? What do they see in the immediate environment that they are living in? What do they see others saying and doing? And what are they watching and reading? Okay. Other question we say that, what do they say? What are they saying? What are they imagine them saying? What is we are hearing them saying? And then what do they do? Okay? What do they do today? What's the behavior they have, uh, and what are the behavior we are observing with them? And then similarly, we can see what do they hear as well. So we try to collect a lot of information about them, and finally about their pains and gains. The pains are the challenges that they are facing, the frustration and the anxiety they are having, and gains are what are their wants and needs. And once we capture that, we try to identify what are other thoughts and feelings might motivate their behavior. For example, let's say if we are creating a persona for a single father of three kids who's a doctor and living outside the city, then we answer all these questions with respect to this person. But from which perspective? That who are we when we are doing a research? So let's say we are the marketing team, or we are the product management team for a um, food supply chain. Then from our perspective we will try to empathize with that customer. Okay? Once we've done that empathy mapping, then it is easy to create a persona. Yeah? So personas will create a lot of nice information with them. So for example, this is one of the example we can find on Scaled Agile website that carry the consumer. Okay? So this consumer, if you see, let me put it a little bit more, uh, zoom it more. So this consumer is say, I am working dad with three children, age 3, 6, 10. I am also in a band, which means I'm want to spend as much time as possible with my kids and my band. I need my package delivered on time so that I can maximize time with my family. So that's what the wants and needs. And then this person says that I like technology. I have an iPhone, iPad, and nice home Wi-Fi setup. Now, if we are producing a software application for him, will we produce a desktop application for him? Okay. Or will we produce an Android application for him? These kind of people does not have Android mobiles; they have iPhones. Yeah. I don't own a computer or only tablets or phones, so we want to develop a desktop solution for him or people like them. Text is my favorite form of communication with suppliers. So maybe if our product have a calling facility, maybe we can plan it little later. And texting facility has to be created earlier than a phone capability. So these personas are created with help of empathy mapping, and these help us in identifying our further features or stories. Another design thinking technique is your journey maps. Okay? The customer journey map illustrates the experience a user engage with a company's operation value stream. For example, here there's an example of a mortgage. A customer needs a loan. A young couple need a loan, and the loan is repayment with interest. That is the end goal. So idea to value, concept to cash. The first step is to attract customers, then quick rate quote, complete loan application, and so on. And these are some of the best case or happy path for completing a mortgage application, and then repayment of the loan as well. Now in customer journey map, we try to identify the high level steps first, and then we try to see how this young couple is thinking and feeling at each step, at every touch point. Okay? Not only the couple, but the person in the bank, the staff or colleague in the bank who is serving them, how they are feeling while they are serving these customers. And then from whatever they are feeling sad or whatever the challenges that they are facing, we can find technology opportunities. Now this is what customers need, because this is the actually customer is feeling, and that's where we can have some ideas of features and epics or initiatives which is desirable by the customer. We haven't checked the viability or feasibility or sustainability of these, but at least we know that these are desirable by the customers, and then we can check the rest of it. So this is another design thinking technique that we can employ when we are working in understanding the features and initiatives in our organization for our product. Let's go through another design thinking technique, which was here in the earlier diagram, which was a whole product thinking, total product concept, the whole product thinking. And this, uh, we are talking about building a product like layer by layer. The first, there is a generic product. This is a generic product. Yeah. Generic product is often considered the minimal offering of product. For a dishwasher, that would be the ability to wash dishes and nothing more. For a hotel, it might be clean room and a little else. So, what are the basic things that you have? But your customer is not ready to pay for those basic things because the competitor products which are already there in the market, they have much more functionality than your basic product. So generic product is just like what solve the basic purpose, but it does not attract customers to spend money on it. Then we have to build little bit more functionality over the product, and it becomes a expected product, which represent the customer minimal purchase condition as informed by alternative or competing products. For example, dishwasher without cycles or timely delays start may not meet current market expectations. So we have to add features in our product which our customers are also offering. And then we add another layer which is called the augmented product. In this case, we are adding more features which will differentiate us from our competitors. And finally, the potential product, which have features that will attract and keep our customers engaged, like futuristic uh, opportunities or futuristic features. Just like iPhone, they keep on saying, okay, iPhone 14 is coming, and these are some of the new features. So they're keeping their customers engaged with the new product. Okay. So these are the 3 or 4 design thinking techniques we have learned. Now there's another concept called market rhythms and events. These are also not directly design thinking techniques, but these are some of the other external factors we should consider when we are trying to launch our product in the market. For example, market rhythms like a Christmas during December is a period which will repeat and we can predict that. So Christmas is a market rhythm, and no one, if you see the graph, no one loves to buy retail software during the Christmas. So if you release a retail software during Christmas, might be there's not much sale. So this is the release window for your B2B retail software. And this is the release window for your toys, because in December, a lot of gifts, people buy a lot of gifts, etc. So when launching the product, not only the product is important, but when we are launching the product is another important thing that we have to be very careful about. Similarly, there is another concept called solution context. Yeah? So solution context is the environment in which your solution is operating. So along with design thinking, solution context is another important factor that we should consider when we are building products, because it is the environment. Solution context identify the critical aspects of operational environment for a solution, and it provides essential understanding of requirement, uses, installation, operations, and so on. For example, if you are trying to sell heaters in Dubai, which is very hot, you might not be able to sell it. So solution context is very, very important. The type of solution context are like systems or systems of systems, product suite, IT development environment, and so on. So this is another factor that we have to consider when we are thinking of building a product, that in which environment the product will be useful as well. And finally, I want to share another design thinking technique, which is like story mapping. So this is a design thinking called story mapping, where we break a features into multiple stories. When we want to implement stories or features, we have to break a feature into stories. So this is called story storming session or a story mapping, which is another design thinking technique, where we write a feature first and then we write what are the starting conditions, and what are the starting conditions or triggers, and what are the various activities for that features to get completed. and then we write the ending condition. After that, we write what are the stories that are considered essential for the release of these features. And then what are the stories that can be considered as improvement areas. So once we have done that, it becomes our release plan as well, mostly. So these are the stories that are must have that should be done first, and these are the stories that can do later, and mostly all the stories we might not be doing as well. So this is like we create a team backlog with respect to these stories, and then later we can also try to get feedback through prototypes, etc. Let me show you one example of story mapping. I've created a mural board. Let's say there is a feature enable passengers to buy extra baggage via mobile app while managing a booking. This is a feature. A feature is something that can be completed within one program increment, like less than 3 months or 4 to 6 iterations almost. Now, this feature, if you break them into stories, the first step is to check whether it has a workflow or not. So login, yeah, first if you want to book the extra baggage, we have to log into the mobile app. Then we have to find the itinerary. Then we have to find how much we want to buy extra baggage. Then we review it and then we pay. So once we write down all the steps, then we can ask all the team member who is participating in this workshop that okay, everyone, write all the stories that you want based on these activities. Then people will write, someone will say enter username and password, login using email, login using frequent flyer number, face ID, or phone, and so on. And similarly, they will write, say, okay, pay by credit card, or pay by internet banking, or pay by points, or pay by PayPal. So within few minutes, like 15-20 minutes, you will have a lot of stories, because this is called story storming session as well, or feature storming session. And these are the name of the stories. We have to further refine it to get more benefit. Once this is done, a similar stories are collated together, and then we try to identify what are the must-have stories. So these in light green are must-have stories, and then we say, okay, these are the stories that must be delivered if we are trying to do this feature. And then we can say, okay, these stories are like should be, could be, like Moscow rule we apply: must have, should have, or would have, could have or would have. Yeah. And then maybe we can say, okay, no need of face ID, it is too complex. Okay, we can't deliver these. These are like high effort and low value activities. We should not avoid. We should avoid doing it. That is another factor that we can consider. So here we have discussed a couple of design thinking techniques, and mostly we cover them in our safe product owner and product management, or trainings, and agile product management trainings as well. Uh, Another concept about how to identify nice features with some gamification is your innovation games. Yeah. Innovation games is one of the nice way. So this is like there are various games like prune the product tree, remember the future, spider web, etc. And various games are used to find customer needs, for solution requirement, for solution users, or for future solutions. So these are some of the nice games that we also cover in our safe agile product management training as well, which are very, very useful when we are trying to consider design thinking. We can also consider design games as well, which are a fun and which help us in promoting customer centricity as well at the same time. Okay. So I think this was what we wanted to cover in today's session. Uh, Now we would like to open for any questions if you have. Um, okay. Okay. There's one question that what is the difference between product management and agile product management, basically, or POPM and agile product management. So in SAFE, when we are working in a scaled agile framework, uh, we have we have like two different uh, core competencies which are very useful in safe essential configuration. The first competency is team and technical agility, and the other is agile product delivery. The team and technical agility focuses on how to deliver the solution. And the three key skills that are there in the team and technical agility are agile teams, build in quality, and team of agile teams. So that's where the focus is. Because people are the one who do all the work, so there is a lot of focus on execution of the work. Agile product delivery is another competency that help us to balance the customer focus with execution focus, and that's why here we see uh, customer centricity and design thinking as well. So now there are two different competencies, and we have product owner here, and then we have product management here. So product management, the role of the product management is more towards the design thinking, and they are the one who manage the program backlog and creates vision and roadmap. Also, they are working with the product management to execute the program increment as well. While the product owners, if you see, they are mostly team focused. Yeah, they are focused on team backlog, where in team backlog we have stories and enablers, and they have a shared responsibility for the executions, and they contribute towards vision and roadmap instead of creating vision and roadmap. So that is the main difference between product management and product owner in the roles and responsibilities when we go to SAFe. Now, if you are a product owner, if you're working for the team, then the advice is that you take this certification SAFe product owner, product management. And if you are mostly business focused and you're interacting with business and you are creating design thinking techniques and you are working on vision and roadmaps, then it is better you do agile product management, which is a 3-day training in SAFe. Okay. Okay, I don't think that we have any further questions. And so we can wind up for the day. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.